First stage is marinade number 1. We're going to put the chicken in that to sit for a few hours before getting onto the curry sauce base. So I've got natural yoghurt here. To this, I'm going to be adding my tablespoon of garlic puree. Then want you to add in your tablespoon of ginger puree. There we go. I've got all my spices here, so curry powder, fenugreek, garam masala, turmeric and salt. Adding that in. And lemon juice. And I want you to whisk that through. Once you've whisked that to combine, I want you to get your chicken breasts, and all we're going to do is cut that up into chunks, the size that you'd want to eat in the curry, and cut it in to the marinade number 1. Once you've chopped your chicken through, stir it up, and then we're just going to leave that to marinate. If you want to leave it at room temperature, a couple of hours is enough. If you're planning to make your curry later, 6 to 8 hours in the fridge is ideal. When it comes to making the curry sauce, I've added all the spices, dry and whole here. So crushed cardamom, cloves, fennel, your nutmeg and your cinnamon, and your teaspoon of your other spices. We're going to fry that off in the oil, not too long, so be careful not to burn the spices. We're just going to want to cook it off a wee bit, heat it up, and get it going before going on to the next stage. Whilst your spices are frying off, I'm just on a medium heat so that I can keep a close eye on it and it doesn't go too far, because that will cause your curry to go brown and also add a really bitter taste. So this is a critical stage. I have quartered my tomatoes and I've peeled and chopped my onion. So once your spices have got a little bit toasty, but as you can see, colour's still there, they're ready orange, they've not went brown, so it's not too far. I'm adding in 100 grams of butter. The reason I put the range of the butter in the ingredient list is I'm going to add some a little bit later on as well, if necessary. I'm going to add tomatoes, onions, stock pot and water. You can add water throughout this first cook if necessary and if needed. And then we're going to squeeze in your peeled plum tomatoes. So I'll show you that sped up. That's the colour we're looking for. All I'm going to do is put that on a medium to high heat, stick the lid on, and we're going to come check it and stir it every 5-10 minutes. We do not want it sticking to the bottom. I'll show you a couple of the stages that I check it. We can add more water if necessary until we get to the end. There's a wee checkpoint, 45 minutes. I've been stirring about every 10 minutes. Just make sure it's not sticking to the bottom. You can see the tomatoes start to break down, liquid reducing. Keep going, but just keep a close eye every 5-10 minutes, make sure it's not sticking. This is us at 1 hour and 10 minutes. I've been continuing to stir, make sure it's not sticking. I'll probably take it another 5-10 minutes, and then we'll go on to the next step. So this is us after 1 hour and 15, 1 hour and 20. As you can see here, oil started to separate at the top and around the edges. That's a sign of a good curry, that's what we're looking for. And I've not added any more water. I don't know if you can see that there up the sides. That's what we're looking for. Right. And I've not had to add any more water. I had about 225 ml. I've put the range in, but this is essentially what we're looking for. I'm going to apologise, but I need you to pull out the 4 cloves and the 3 cardamom shells and discard them, and then we're going to add into a blender, blend until smooth and pass through a fine sieve. And that's us, got the sauce underneath and all the skins and seeds and all the bad stuff sieved out. So in the same pan, we're going to add the marinated chicken and cook that for 10-15 minutes to cook the chicken through before adding in the sauce and the final ingredients. So So after the 15 minutes, you can see there's quite a bit of excess liquid that's come from the chicken. If you don't like yours too saucy, because it will be once we add this, remove some of this excess liquid, but it will be nice and chickeny tasting, so I'm just going to leave as is. To this, I want you to add your tomato puree, your cream, your sugar, and your sauce. And then we can add some butter and coriander at the end if we want. Then I just want you to simmer that on medium heat for another wee 10-15 minutes. And then we will add another wee knob or two of butter, totally up to you. You don't need to if you taste it and you're happy with it. Season it further with salt if necessary, and then add fresh coriander as an optional garnish as well. So the last 5 minutes of simmering, I'm going to add a little bit of coriander actually into the curry, just a personal preference. Also use some for the garnish. As I said, taste it. Add a little bit more salt if you decide you want it, and you can also add another couple of knobs of butter just to add to the richness as well. And that is your butter chicken, guys. Serve with naan, rice, whatever you fancy. Let me know what you think. Tag me if you make it. Thank you. Then I just want you to simmer that on medium heat for another wee 10-15 minutes. And then we will add another wee knob or two of butter, totally up to you. You don't need to if you taste it and you're happy with it. Season it further with salt if necessary, and then add fresh coriander as an optional garnish as well. The last 5 minutes of simmering, I'm going to add a little bit of coriander actually into the curry, just a personal preference. Also use some for the garnish. As I said, taste it. Add a little bit more salt if you decide you want it, and you can also add another couple of knobs of butter just to add to the richness as well. And that is your butter chicken, guys. Serve with naan, rice, whatever you fancy. Let me know what you think. Tag me if you make it. Thank you.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for. You've been searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor.